Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, you want to buckle up that seatbelt just a little bit. It may get a little bumpy around here. We're going to be moving at a pretty. We're going to get a Beresha report from our good friend Dr. Angela Mitsos. A lot happening in the tastings world when it comes to Beresha. A lot happening this weekend, by the way, and in particular with involving tastings. Boy, there is a major event scheduled this week on Sunday down the Strip District. Farm to Table is back at it again with their third annual tastings event. And of course, if it involves Farm to Table, that involves Errin Hart, and she will be our guest today telling you all about the huge tasting events in the Strip District. We'll be there. We'll be at a lot of places. So get ready to discuss tastings in Pittsburgh this weekend with Angelo and Errin coming up in this morning's show. Want to really put up my thanks to the wonderful people I met last night. I really enjoyed being up there at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group. There are our guest, our speaker, Lloyd Standish from Costa Rica was there describing corral, this miraculous plant, life fruit that has saved and rescued so many people medicinally. We'll be talking more about it as time goes on. We have a good relationship with Lloyd now, and I think you'll be hearing a lot about corral as the year 2015 comes around. Now, let's take a look at the schedule as I now know it. On Monday, Shannon will be back. Now, there are a couple major movements with respect to the signature items in this office. One's going to be microcurrent in 2015. The other's going to be a resurgence and the new abilities we're learning about LDA. Shannon Gosen will be here with us on Monday talking about microcurrent, in particular, a program we're launching in 2015 referred to. It's all I'm going to tell you about today, Second Call. We'll learn more about this on Monday with Shannon Gosen, who'll be our guest. Then looking at, got to tell you, Ty Vincent, this interesting doctor from Wasilla, Alaska. You know anybody from Wasilla, ladies and gentlemen? Ty Vincent is going to be able to record some pre-recorded shows with me. Now, it's a little complicated because he's either in Wasilla, Alaska, which is 7 hours behind, or Kona Coast, Hawaii, which is 6. We nailed them down to be able to record shows. I'm going to be doing the recordings on the Friday afternoons. You won't know about them, but they'll be here with you as a show on the 8th of December. Going to be talking about LDA and autologous antigens. And then in January, going to be talking about the big topic, autoimmune disease, and in particular, Lyme's. If you have Lyme's disease, you need to hear Ty Vincent talk about, I'll just give you this much, 38 out of 40 fixed, 38 out of 40 in a 6-month period. Anyway, that's Ty Vincent. He'll be one of our guests in the up and coming in that paradigm shift. Microcurrent and LDA, two biggies for 2015. I'll let Dr. Mitsos tell you about the tastings for Beresha and what's happening with them. And then don't forget, right after our first break, we're going to get with Errin Hart. I don't know if I should take any more time. It's fast paced. Let's take a short break. In the interim, let's hope that Dr. Mitsos has dialed us up and we can get the Beresha report. Get a pencil and paper. You got to write these things down. We're in your backyard. We're in your neighborhood. You got this go-to set of drinks. You've heard about them before. Let's let Dr. Mitsos tell you about where they're going to be found this weekend. Be right back in a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today in a Friday morning version of the show. Now, it's fast-paced today, folks. You got to be willing to buckle that seatbelt up just a bit. It may get bumpy around here. Our kickoff is with a gentleman you know very well. He's been coming aboard now for many, many months and giving you what we refer to affectionately as the Beresha Report, a company out there that has a go-to drink I've really adopted and fully endorsed as the way to health in terms of something you can really enjoy, but is extremely healthy for you, and the enjoyment doesn't have to be a sin. It is a pleasure. Of course, the company is Beresha. The gentleman, Dr. Angelo Mitsos, a very accomplished podiatrist from up in the Newcastle area, but he knows all things Beresha. Let's find out what he knows today. Good morning, Dr. Mitsos, and welcome back.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Courtney. It's good to be back.
Well, I know the excitement is almost palpable with this company. I've seen you a couple times in just the last few days. How do you want to handle what I'll call the Beresha Report? Take it away, Dr. Mitsos, and let our listeners know what's happening with it.
Well, absolutely, Dr. Courtney. Hey, it was good to see you on Wednesday night there at the Crown Plaza. And we had the #1 distributor, Joe Giuliano, and he also gave a follow-up report from the big national meeting in Chicago.
That's Chicago. What happened in Chicago, Angelo?
Well, I'll tell you, you also had the president, the owner of Beresha, George Najjar. We affectionately call him Papa George. And he is getting very serious with some major enhancements, incentives, to the compensation plan for those that really want to get serious with the opportunity. And you kind of saw that excitement, I think, Wednesday night. Did you see? It was like a little buzz in the room?
Well, there is a buzz in the room, and of course, for our listeners, the drinks are really what I want you to glom onto, folks. I mean, they are so good, they're so healthy for you that, if nothing more, please sample Beresha to find out how it may fit what you need from your own personal life. But there are people who are saying, you know what, I think I'd like to introduce, my other family members to it. And this turns into be an interesting way to actually finance the purchase of their own monthly Beresha order, which is, if that's all they want to do, is fine. But others have said, I want to roll with this, and I want to take this to another level in terms of a business. And that's what I think you're referring to, Dr. Mitsos, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Courtney. But yes, in terms of the product, one of the things that George announced in Chicago, they've enhanced the customer loyalty program and also the distributor loyalty program. So right now, starting in November, a customer can get better pricing if they agree to what's called an auto ship, where they will get the product shipped directly to their doorstep on a monthly basis. A customer that stays on the auto ship for 3 consecutive months will get their next month for free. It's just an outstanding program. In addition, they are entered into a chance to win an iPad and also a vacation for 2 to San Francisco to actually visit the corporate office for Beresha. A distributor also is in this loyalty program. They have a chance to win, believe it or not, a BMW automobile. If you recall, George came from the automobile industry, and he actually owned one of the top dealerships in the California area. He must have maintained his wholesale buying ability because on the business side, when a distributor reaches a very prestigious position called regional vice president, not only will they have the ability to win a $10,000 cash bonus, but they will they will receive the title to a new BMW 5 Series. And if that's not exciting enough, the next level is a level called Ambassador, a potential to win a $20,000 cash bonus and the title to a new BMW 7 Series. Pretty serious stuff.
Pretty serious stuff. Chicago were for those who were not faint of heart and are looking at Beresha far more than just an enjoyable product. The listeners need to know out there that is something that's shaken, and if they ever get really moving with the products over and above how great they are for them personally, there are ways to take this that just by mentioning what you have already, Angelo, if they're interested, they could contact us and we can make certain that we help them. We help them along to get that particular component going. Now, what about tastings? Because you know that you've been out amongst the folks here for a number of months, but this weekend, man, I think we've overdone it this weekend. What's on tap for us this weekend with Beresha tasting?
Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Courtney. Well, tomorrow morning we're going to be over at the Carnegie Science Center. That will be until about 3 o'clock, and this is phase 2 of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. It's a symposium. We're going to have all the products there available for tasting. And then I believe you have Errin Hart coming on here today. The very next day, on Sunday, we're going to be down in the Strip District, 2401 Penn Avenue, for the Farm to Table big event. I think there's going to be about 60 food vendors there.
Yeah, and I know, ladies and gentlemen, just stay in the warm-up position, because we're going to take a break here in just a moment. When we do, Errin Hart, who puts this whole thing together, is going to be our guest. She'll let you know about the vendors that'll be down there, and they're there to let you sample their wares. There's a ticket for entrance, but I think you'll leave pretty filled up. I think there's 60 vendors, and you sample 50 different wares. I don't know if you'll be able to make it all the way to the end of the gauntlet, but we'll have Errin talk about that in just a moment. So we're going to be part of that, Angelo. We'll be down there in the Strip District. There are basically two big backdrops. One is the Pittsburgh Public Market, and then something, I don't know what this is. Wiggle Whiskey is another backdrop. I don't know where Wiggle Whiskey is. I got a feeling that they serve some things that maybe, I don't even know if you can do it on Sunday around here anymore, but those two venues, and she says they're going to be in the street lining 24th Street also. So, hey, we'll let Errin talk about that, but we're going to be there. It's 3 to 7, and come by and you have a chance to taste these wonderful products, and we'll give you information on how you can get the products. Now, for those listening that just won't be able to make it, Angelo, let's talk about how they can get those products in their hand right now. Get some advice for them?
Absolutely. Well, if someone goes online, they want to go to Pittsburgh Eye Protocol. At the very top of your website there, Dr. Courtney, they're going to click on the Beresha link, and they're going to see everything available, whether they would just want to become a customer, whether they want to become a distributor. All of the options are on there. Someone that does not have a computer, I know your sister Sarah is very, very helpful. All they have to do is contact the office.
Yeah, call the office here at 724-942-3002, and we'll either walk you through your computer, or Sister Sarah will just take over and do it by ours. But this is a company that's utilizing the online approach to keep this product as inexpensive as it can be made, and we'll help you get through some of the initial problems that may have created, like by doing the online thing. But once it's set up, you'll be pleasantly pleased and surprised each and every month whenever your product arrives to you. And we'll help you all we can in doing so. But you go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. The reason you do that is all the products that I endorse, well beyond the Beresha line, all the vitamins, minerals, and other supplements, are in the product section on the opening page. So when you dial up PittsburghEyeProtocol.com, on the top banner you'll see products. Click on that, and then you're taken to a part of the website that describes all the products. But the very top of the list is Beresha International. Click on it. It takes you to the Beresha website, and from there you navigate to being able to join a $49 fee. That $49 fee is still operational, is it not?
Well, one of the new announcements, Dr. Courtney, is they're actually giving out more product on an initial order, and they've actually removed the $49 fee when someone purchases a package. Now, if someone doesn't want to purchase the package and they want to do more of an a la carte, then that $49 fee, I believe, does apply.
Okay, so you decide at a maximum that you want to get involved with this. It may cost you $49 if you get these larger packages, and that's pretty much for people who want to do this other than for their personal use. They've removed the $49. You'll see that all on the website, I'm sure. I haven't even been to the website since Chicago. I'm going to imagine there's some new changes to it that I'm going to have to get used to.
Yes, yes. As we speak, they're putting all those changes on there.
All right. So that's pretty much. You and I are going to be seeing each other an awful lot this weekend, and we're going to have a chance to meet a lot of great people and give them their first exposure, maybe to the Beresha line and anything else coming up. Anything you know about? They're going to reformulate the tea. You said you were telling me, right?
Yes, Dr. Massoud, who was on your program initially, did go on stage and say that that's in process. We'll be seeing that shortly, and he did say that in 2015 the other products should come forward as well.
The other products, meaning they've got 4 right now: a coffee, a iced tea, a peach mango tea, and lemonade. Also a sweetener. So number 7 turns out to have a real ring with Beresha. And there's 3 products yet to go. You say they've already formulated them. They've just not told you what they are, but they will be launched and available to everybody in 2015. Do I have that right?
That's correct, Dr. Courtney.
All right. Well, look, Angelo, I want to thank you for coming aboard and letting folks know about Beresha once again. You can't. That coffee is just outstanding. But remember, these products do 4 things, I think. We're going to probably close with this. The 4 things that all the Beresha products do, except the sweetener right now, it doesn't do one of them, but the drinks. They are all, what we say is they're satiety quenching. They are thermogenic, meaning you drink them, and I have reports, Faith, for instance, I think she said she lost like 20 or 30 pounds just by drinking the coffee. Did I hear that right the other night? She looks wonderful, by the way.
She does, absolutely. She was pulling on her jeans there.
Yeah, just showing these baggy jeans. So thermogenicity is real. It happens. You drink these products, and if you don't do anything but sit in a chair and enjoy what you're drinking, you're still going to lose weight by the fat burning process. So they're thermogenic. They are satiety quenching. You drink these before a meal, 30 minutes before a meal, you'll find out you won't be able to eat as much in that meal as you originally planned. They're, of course, all low glycemic, and that, I think, is the standard. Anybody who's claiming to have a product that helps you in weight control is going to make that claim. But this final claim, I think, is unique and only to Beresha. It blunts the cephalic response. Would you please let our listeners know what that cephalic response is? Because I've never heard any other company even mention it, which makes me feel real good about Beresha having done so.
Right. Well, in my opinion, Dr. Courtney, this obesity epidemic began about 30 years ago with the proliferation of artificial sweeteners and diet drinks. And contrary to common wisdom, what are people doing today? Going out there consuming a diet drink, a sugar-free drink, or something that has artificial sweeteners in it. Because they would think, the common wisdom is that if it's 0 calories and has no carbs, then that's the primary thing we want to do for weight management. The problem is because of the degree of sweetness in these products, it's actually much more problematic. The degree of sweetness is recognized by the brain like we just consumed a large bowl of sugar or a large bowl of pasta. And there's insulin release. It's absolutely contributing to the insulin resistance problem, the type 2 diabetes epidemic, the obesity epidemic. And the Beresha products do not do that.
They blunt that cephalic response, and no other product makes that claim. And I know it's accurate because we had the scientists here on the first program I ever did on the subject, and they verified it. And I've never heard anybody talk about it. They taught me about cephalic response. I had never heard it as a concept. So I want to thank Beresha for jumping in with a one-of-a-kind, absolutely, in 4 different ways, but that cephalic, I think, makes it all come true. Okay, Angelo, thank you so much for coming aboard today with your Beresha report. I got a feeling we're going to be seeing each other an awful lot this weekend, and hopefully meeting a lot of our listeners out there are going to come to visit us. All right?
Thank you. We'll have a lot of fun. Thanks, Doc.
All right, Dr. Mensos, thank you so much. Here have it, folks. Phase 1 of our show today, giving you the Beresha report, and look forward to seeing you either this Saturday at the JDRF Walk for the Cure Part 2 at the Carnegie Science Center. That's from 9 to 3. Or Sunday at the Farm to Table. We're going to take a short break now and talk to the lady who ought to know, because she puts this thing together. This is her third year doing this tasting. Let's hear Errin Hart describe what this tasting is all about and maybe get you to come on out on Sunday afternoon. By the way, the Steelers don't play. It's not a problem. They're going to be on Monday night. So let's take a short break. And when we return, Ms. Errin Hart will be describing Farm to Table tastings. Be right back. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Friday morning version of this show. It's normally fast-paced around here on a Friday, but none faster paced than today with Dr. Mitzos giving us the Beresha report. But the young lady aboard with us today has been involved. She is Miss Pittsburgh when it comes to getting a community component that really we enjoy so much and have to be thankful to her. She's developed a concept called Farm to Table. It expresses itself a couple different ways. One of those ways is going to be with a tasting this weekend down the Strip District. Anyway, I'm going to let her tell all about Farm to Table. She's the gal that put it together. Her name is Ms. Errin Hart. Let's say good morning and welcome aboard, Ms. Hart.
Thanks, Dr. Courtney. Good morning.
Well, we know one another basically because of getting involved last year with Farm to Table. I thought it was a wonderful concept then. And I wasn't aware that beyond the big thing that you have going on in March, which is last year was held at the Lawrence Convention Center, that really you have an interesting event called the Tastings, the Farm to Table Tastings, and it actually this year will be the third annual one. And so what I would like to start with is to give our listeners who may not recall our show that we did last year, about this whole concept of Farm to Table. It was your idea. It was your creation. You made it happen, and that has thrived very well. And then glom onto that, this idea of the tastings. I'm going to let you just take it for a while and bring our listeners up to speed on how this whole thing got started and how it's evolved.
That sounds great. Well, our company, American Healthcare Group, we do healthcare consulting for employers and individuals. And we put together wellness programs all over Western Pennsylvania for school districts, affordable housing communities, and employers. So when you're talking about wellness, as you know, the whole idea is, you are what you eat. So it's pretty simple for us when you look to see all the diets that are out there and people don't know what to do. I mean, when you go back 50 years ago, what were people doing? They were eating real food. And my mom actually had grown up on a farm. So my parents always cooked food for us, and it's a family business. So we were pretty in tune with, eating real and cooking. And then a friend of mine, Carrie Hahn, who was very involved with local agriculture and bringing food into the city, approached me about having a speaker come to Pittsburgh back in 2006. So that's really how Farm to Table started. We put together our first conference in the spring of 2007. And the Farm to Table concept it's sort of like saying organic or natural.
Right.
It's a concept that people know about all over the world, really. But we just used that because it's kind of like a catchy phrase, and it's pretty simple, farm to table. And what's funny, Dr. Courtney, when I first started working on this project, my grandma was still alive, and she thought it was hilarious that people were paying us to hear that they should buy food from a farm and bring it home and cook it and eat it.
It would seem a little strange as someone raised on a farm who cooked it and ate it when it wasn't a big deal. Now it's a big deal.
Exactly. So, the idea that, seeing a cow on a pasture eating grass is sort of like a radical idea. It's funny. But we're lucky because in Western Pennsylvania, we have so many farms, and the types of farms that we have here it's a lot of small family farms. So when you're in this frame of mind where you want to buy local, it's just a matter of connecting the dots and showing people and introducing people basically to, either the retailers or the farms or the food producers where they can buy that food. So it's one thing to talk about it, but, when it's Monday night and it's time to put dinner on the table, where did you buy your ingredients and how do you do that so that it's not, it's not this elitist concept where only, very few people can afford to do it. Everyone can do this. It's just a matter of giving people access and showing them, where to find these vendors.
Well, it's a concept whose time has really come. The public is really yearning for this kind of a program. They're pretty much fed up. Every time they turn around, they're reading the articles, and they're very skeptical about the potential harm, by the way, that can come from just eating food that's prepared regularly but available on in the supermarkets because of the farming practices that they pursue. When you're talking about farm to table, the folks who are involved with you pretty much they use the word organic. At least their best attempt is to try to make these products as chemical free as possible. Is that sort of like the pledge you take whenever you sign up to become a member of Farm to Table?
It's an interesting question. We actually don't have members, so we have a website that we put together where it's a local food guide, and anybody who's a local food vendor can put themselves on there. It's interesting. I was talking to about 8 years ago to John Scott, who used to work at the Department of Agriculture office in Gibsonia, and he had a very interesting perception of the farms around here. And basically what he said was, because of the type of land that we have in Western Pennsylvania, we don't have huge corporate farms. So even if a farm is not organic, they're less dependent on these agricultural chemicals and the inputs that they put into the land that aren't sustainable because of both the type of land and their relationship to their farms. So you take a farm that has, it's a family farm, so their kids are working on it, their grandkids are working on it, their nieces and nephews. So they might not be certified organic, but they aren't putting the types of chemicals out there that you would see in a large corporate farm. You see these things on social media where someone's out spraying the crops in a big, corporate farm and they're wearing like a hazmat suit. You don't have that kind of thing happening here in Western Pennsylvania.
Well, I can tell you, having the opportunity to literally meet, I think this is great, to actually meet face-to-face with the farmer who's bringing it to the market, you'll learn as much and get dependent and feel very comfortable about having had that relationship and you make decisions based on that interaction that you're having with the person who's actually raising the food. And if he's completely organic, by the way, that doggone stamp, I'm just going to tell you, Errin, I think that little stamp, which costs so much money, I personally don't care about the stamp. I would much rather be talking to a farmer and he says to me, well, no, this is what I do.
Exactly.
This is how I raise. And we can't call it organic. And I go, you might not be able to call it organic. I'm going to call it organic for you. How's that? Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, you take like a farmer who raises animals, and if they have a lamb farm or cattle, and if they're organic, the way they can treat them when the animals get sick is very limited when they're certified organic. So it's really, it's eating local. I think is more important for your health and for the health of our economy. When Carrie Hahn, my friend who I mentioned earlier, she sort of introduced me to all these concepts. And the reason she got involved in all of this was because she wanted to maintain these local farms so that she would be able to keep buying food from them. So it was like keeping their businesses healthy by telling people to shop at those businesses. So then it is a viable enterprise for them to keep farming, because otherwise, if people, if you don't have customers coming to your business, you can't stick around very long. So that's, it's another reason to shop local.
All right. Now, you say 2007 is when this thing really took shape, and you had your first big conference, and then, but not too long afterwards, you started this thing with this tastings. And tell me how that came about and how that's evolved, and then you can go right into talking about the setup for this weekend that I hope our listeners on a Sunday afternoon just may take us up on our invite to have them come on down. Go ahead, Errin. How did the tasting part of this all develop?
We started the tasting after, I think, the second year of the Farm to Table conference. So we started having a tasting that Friday night every year. And it was actually, I'll keep giving credit where credit's due. Julie Spiker, and at the time her name was Julie Inman, she worked for PASA, which is the Pennsylvania Association for Sustainable Agriculture, and David Eason, who also worked there at the time. We were working very closely with them, and they were basically helping us meet farms and that sort of thing. And they had these farm dinners over the years, and Julie had the idea. I was talking to her about how we could, it's one thing to have a conference and have people, vendors standing at a table, but so that people could try these foods, it was, you literally have to give people the opportunity to, talk to the farm and, eat the food that they're growing to really make that connection. So that what we try to do is make eating local and eating real a second nature, so that you don't even think about it. It's just what you do. So that's how it started. So we've been doing the spring local food tasting since 2008. And we started the harvest tasting because, people thought that, March in Western Pennsylvania isn't, it's a pretty unique time of year to have a local food tasting, but it works. We get 60 vendors to show up at that. Mm-hmm. They have these foods that are preserved or pickled. So the idea of going into the fall was something that we wanted to do. Also going into the holiday season, which a lot of people's diets become sort of a hot mess. So all of a sudden you're bombarded with, all of these holiday treats that then sit around your house and you keep eating them. So why not introduce like a healthy concept in the fall? But what we didn't want to do is do it during October, because that's when a lot of the farms are having their harvest festivals. And we don't want to compete with farms. So we don't want to drive business away from them. So we waited until November. And so the first year we did it November 10th, and then the second year we did it November 16th, and then again this year it's November 16th because we moved it to a Sunday. And it's basically like a pre-Thanksgiving type of celebration.
Yeah.
And what I really like is, so everyone, this whole battle with like Christmas, and people get annoyed that Christmas all of a sudden starts showing up in stores. like in October. And, personally for me, I come from a huge family, and Thanksgiving was always this very important holiday. And it's just so relaxed. And so it was kind of a nod to Thanksgiving. And when you just Google Thanksgiving, the definition is a celebration of the blessings of the harvest. So that's really how our harvest tasting. I'm one of 5 daughters, and 2 of my sisters work with me. The other 2 also are very involved in just different things that we do with Farm to Table, and my parents work there. And so it truly is like this
family event.
Yeah, it is a family. It's a family business, and we feel very strongly that, when you're sitting at a family table eating, it's just a healthy type of atmosphere for kids, and there's all sorts of research done for adults too, like what happens when you're sitting at a table to eat, as opposed to eating on the run.
Well, this thing is, I'm reading about it. I'm really intrigued about the fact that it's the 3rd year. And give our listeners an idea of the setup here. You're at 2 different venues, and you can describe where they are. How will that set up? How does it work?
How does it work? Okay. So we are going to be at the Pittsburgh Public Market, which is 2401 Penn Avenue, and Wiggle Whiskey, which is 2401 Smallman Street. And the way that happened was they're literally a block apart. So in February of this year, I was doing talks. We do lunch and learns all the time. And I was doing talks about health insurance and Medicare. And I